Welcome to the PitchVision Academy Cricket Show. Half an hour or so of cricket chat. We talk about coaching. We talk about playing the game, whatever level you're at. And hopefully somewhere along the line will help you out. My name's David Hinchliffe. I sort of run things around here, but only to keep people on the straight and narrow a little bit. And who do I keep on the straight and narrow? Well, I do my best, first of all, to keep Mark Garaway on the straight and narrow. He's the Director of Cricket at Millfield School. How's it going, Gareth?
All the best, trying to keep me on the straight and narrow, mates. Many have tried over the years and many have failed. Yeah, all good actually. Yeah, I'm having a great week. I've done loads of cricket coaching around some fantastic people. I've done a culture session talking to a Team GB's dog agility team. That's the old one where they go over things and in and out of things and through tunnels, and that's the dogs rather than the handlers. And I spent the day working with Exeter Chiefs, the Premiership Rugby Champions, yesterday, which was absolutely fascinating. So in terms of having lots of different stimulus this week, it's been right up there.
All right, okay, well, we'll see if we can tap into that at some point then. Secondly, it's the head of cricket performance at Portsmouth Grammar School. It's Sam Lavery. Hello, Lavers. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. Really good. Busy half term as always down here. All the teachers swan off, and I'm left in the sports hall to crack on with things, which is actually really good because there's so much you can get done when you've got a lot of time and space without being interrupted. So we got loads done this week. Had loads of boys in for one-to-ones, a couple of girls in for the one-to-ones as well, and gone really well.
Yeah, once you get those pesky teachers out of the way, you can get some proper work done.
Absolutely.
Let's get on to some questions now. Questions that have been sent into the show by listeners or perhaps readers to the PitchVision website over at pitchvision.com. And just to let you know how this works very quickly, we answer those questions, choose the best question that wins a prize, and that's an online coaching course from PitchVision Academy at pitchvision.com at the end of the show. And if you want to send in your questions to future shows, you can do that by emailing coach@pitchvision.com. First question is from someone who I believe it's a nom de plume. It's Jewel. And Jewel says, I am a 32-year-old immigrant in New Zealand from Pakistan. I'm a reasonable batsman, or that's what I like to think, but almost all of the cricket that I've played is with a tennis ball in Pakistan. Anyway, I decided to try my luck in a warm-up match in New Zealand, which was being played on a cemented and matted wicket. Before my turn to bat, I thought it'd be easy, and I'll rotate the strike, but to my surprise, I couldn't middle a single ball, even to the spinners. I stayed there for 20 balls, in which almost 10 were completely missed. From the rest of the 10 balls, I nicked 3 catches to slip, which were dropped, finally getting caught behind on the 4th nick. Although this was my first experience with proper hardball cricket in many years, I couldn't believe how bad I'd played. It was an embarrassment. Even the balls that were coming straight, in which I thought I could straight drive them easily, were going to square leg after hitting the bat. Is it that hard to switch from tennis ball cricket to hardball cricket?
Welcome to my career, by the way. That sounded very familiar. I got some cold sweats whilst I was listening to that. Nicking it to slip and not being able to hit it at all. That sounds very, very familiar indeed. And I didn't have the excuse of adapting from tennis ball to hardball either. But I should imagine, and having not done this, gone from tennis ball to hardball, I can't speak from experience, but the adaptation is going to be fairly significant, and the way that the ball reacts through the air, the way that the ball reacts off the surface, and the fact that you're playing on completely new surfaces to yourself as well. It's going to take England adaptation time when they're in Australia this coming week, ahead of the Ashes, as it has done obviously for England women's team, who lost the first 2 ODIs and then come back in the third one. It takes us a while. That's why it's so difficult for overseas touring sides to win, when they're playing on opposition grounds, really. So it does take a period of time, and that's, you've got the added disadvantage, I suppose, of going from tennis ball to to cricket ball. One of the sayings that we're sort of developing here at school is that when somebody tries a new skill, which this is what it is for you, that they get quite down early and get quite frustrated that they can't do a new skill. Well, the bottom line is that playing with a hard ball is a new skill, even if it, for you 10 years difference between the last time you played with a hard ball and now, and you shouldn't necessarily expect to just fall into it. It's probably an unrealistic expectation. And the same we've got at school is if you walk into your first Japanese or Mandarin class, then you're not going to be able to speak fluently, so you shouldn't expect necessarily to be able to nail a new shot that you've never played before, or a shot that you're playing in a completely different way. So set your expectation levels probably more realistically, and give yourself some time and learn from the mistakes. And edging it to slip, there's a good chance that you're not falling onto the line of the ball, I should imagine, and I'd focus more onto that. How can you get yourself in line with the ball better? How can you get the back face squaring up to the ball better would be my starting point. And then instead of sliding off the edge of the bat, you'll be getting more chance of getting it somewhere in the middle or hitting an outside half. So give yourself a best chance, manage your expectation, and see if you can line the ball up and get right behind the ball and see if that helps.
He's had a shocker, hasn't he, Lavers? I'm sure you've seen it happen as well. Someone who you consider to be a reasonable player has just gone out there and looked all at sea.
Well, it happens all the time. I think everyone in England has played cricket with an Australian guy who's come over with a cracking CV, and he's turned up in April or May, and he's chipped it at cover, chipped it at mid-off, chipped it at mid-on, and then chipped it back at the bowler. And it's just different conditions, and it's just going to take time to adapt. And if you think about the type of surface you're now playing on, you're playing on a concrete block under a mat, so it's going to be very quick, very bouncy. In comparison to what you've played on before, you said you played with a tennis ball. I would imagine that was a taped ball, but it may not have been. If it's a tennis ball, it's going to be a hell of a lot slower, but it's going to be bouncy. If it's a taped ball, it's going to be extremely low, and there's going to be no bouncing involved. So whatever conditions you're in before are so alien to what you're going to be in now, it's going to be very difficult. And the skills that you have, your ability to play a straight drive, play a cover drive, play a pull shot, play a sweep, whatever it might be, they're all still going to be relevant. And they're still going to be so valuable to you. So you're so far ahead of a beginner, but you're just going to have to work out when to apply these different skills in the completely different environment you've now got. So the ball in the past that you thought was the one you could just drive down the ground or work singles around or whatever you thought you could do might be slightly different now. So the best option, or the best thing to now for me would be go and expose yourself to as many overs of bowling as you can in the conditions you're going to play in, and just start building up that bank of knowledge that you had previously with your tennis ball cricket back in Pakistan. And the more you can build up there, the more you'll learn how you adapt your shots and your games to your new circumstances. And once you've done that, you might find that you have a little bit more success and you start getting given out LBWs or something instead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can only echo that. And also probably, maybe if the first time for 10 years that you ever played with a hard ball, you go in without doing any practice at all, maybe give yourself a little bit of a break, as you said, Gareth. And in the interim, now that's happened, possibly have a net before your next game. Yeah, might just help you out a bit. Keep it simple. Get in the nets, hit a couple of balls, get a bit of confidence in yourself, and then maybe you'll get a run or two in your next game, and it'll start building up from there. Next question is from Sudindra, and Sudindra says, "What is actually a decent speed for a 17-year-old fast bowler?"
Cool, that is a good question. Hold on, let me just go across to my fast bowling coach over here, and I'm going to ask my fast bowling coach, who's sitting there grinning at me, going, what is going to happen next? What is a good speed for a 17-year-old fast bowler? Now, he's not been queued up on this, and this could or might not be a sarcastic Garaway answer. It's a big draw of breath, everybody. Drum roll, please.
I suppose it would depend on your skill set.
Oh, shut up. Dependent on his skill set. What are you talking about? Come on, be braver.
Okay.
That's
70 plus.
70 plus. Is that miles per hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, 70 plus that would be
right.
deemed good, would it? So
I'd say
what's
that.
70 in kph for those around the world? Let's have a little look. Let's go kph. No, miles an hour. mph to. Well, let's have a look. It's 70. It's 112.65 lavers. Yeah. So 70 miles an hour.
Nice
and what would be, out of our fast bowlers, what would be the percentage of 17-year-olds that are hitting that here at the moment?
50%.
Yeah, so 50% of our fast bowlers would be on that, of which most of those are involved at county level or EPP level or academy level. We've got some that are approaching 80 in that, but I think anybody 70 plus is going to. I put the bowling machine on 70 this morning to a very good player, one of our England internationals, and it gets down there a decent lick, that, and that's obviously without there being a seam or on the ball as well, so which obviously can cause problems for batters. So I think anything above 70 is pretty good. You'll have other bowling coaches out there claiming that they've got 25 bowlers bowling at 463 miles an hour, but if you're letting it go at 70 mile an hour plus, and if you're getting up towards 77, you're going pretty well. If you think that Matthew Hoggard, at the height of his career in 2005, bowled the ball rarely over 81 miles an hour, but obviously had some skill sets around that made him incredibly effective. That Glenn McGrath was rarely over 80 mile an hour, but then you had people in that series bowling significantly quicker. So if you've got a fast bowler as a kid that's bowling it to nearly 80 miles an hour at the age of 17, with all that physical growth that's going to happen, all that maturity that's going to go into the body, and the amount of training that they're going to do if they are hitting those speeds, then it's a pretty good starting point for an adult being able to hit some fairly illustrious speeds, I would say.
And I guess context is the other thing, isn't it, Lavis? I mean, if you're playing club cricket, that's slightly, but and you maybe haven't got any major ambitions to be playing for your country in the next 5 years, then maybe you think, oh well, I'll just I'm happy to bowl as fast as I can, and maybe push it up a little bit every year. But it's the actual number isn't the problem. It's what I want to get out of it. So. It depends on the context of where you're playing as well, doesn't it, and what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. The speed is one part of your kind of set of skills, isn't it? And it's a pretty important part. And if you are trying to be a fast bowler, it's a big part. But there are other things that go around it. And if you're bowling down at 55 miles an hour at 17, you're probably not going to come out as a real fast bowler. But we've got guys that range from, I've had 3 of the or 6 form boys in this week who are bowlers, and we've probably got about 8 or 9 seamers in that group. And out of the 3, one of them that was speed gunned yesterday was 69 miles an hour from a shortish run up, which is the first time he's bowled in about 8 weeks, I'd have said. So he will probably end up at sort of 73, 74. We'd like to think by the start of the season when he's outside. And the other 2 are, one is on 70 exactly actually, and the other one was kind of 68. Again, both off shortened runs, so they're kind of roundabout there. But they're also aware of what they're trying to achieve. One of them would push himself forward as trying to be an all-rounder in the game and try and go as far as he can. The other 2 are very big lovers of the game and just enjoy playing cricket, whether it's school cricket or club cricket. They will continue to play, I'm sure, for the next 15, 20 years, and they will enjoy it as they go along. They've not particular ambitions to play professionally, but they still want to be as good as they can, and they're still going to enjoy it. So I think you have got to be aware that speed is one part of it, but it is clearly is quite a big chunk of the things you can offer as a fast bowler.
Yeah, and if you get, it's like any one measure, isn't it? If you get completely obsessed by that one measure, then you're training for the test rather than for what you want to achieve.
Yeah, the gym numbers don't win games, do they?
No, exactly. So you've got to be able to take that in a broader context and say to yourself, okay, well, all right, maybe I'm not quite at the speed I want to be at, but there's other things I can do to either get to that speed or get some different skills which allow me to do more with what I do have. So there's like every single question that we get asked here, the answer is pretty much usually it depends. Unless we get the Garra's answer of 350 miles an hour, and that's a decent pace.
That is a decent pace. At any age.
Yeah. And that's all we've got time for on the show this week. We are going to wrap it up. But before we go, there is just one more thing we need to do, and that is decide on the winner of this week's competition, which is, of course, the online coaching course from PitchVision Academy at pitchvision.com. And the two questions, of course, are Jules' question about that horror first game he had back, and Sudindra's question about decent speed for fast bowlers. Which one did you prefer this week, Gareth?
I'm going to have to go with Jules' question because it brought me out in cold sweats and took me back to my playing days. So I'm going to go with that one this week.
Congratulations, Joel. And Gareth, if someone else was listening into the show and they wanted to send in a question, maybe win that prize, how could they get in touch with us?
They could give us a call on 0203 239 7543 or drop us an email on coach@pitchvision.com.
That's right. There's lots of other ways you can get in touch with us as well. You can reach us through the PitchVision social media system over at pitchvision.com. Just look for the PitchVision Academy account there and you can message us directly. You can also get us through other social media. Facebook is facebook.com/PitchVision Academy and Twitter is @PitchVisionAcad. You can subscribe to the show. That comes out every week and it's free. And you can just do a search for PitchVision Academy in your favourite podcast app to do that. Or you can head over to pitchvision.com/academy and click on the podcast link for all the old show notes. Download the show, stream the show from there. Do that from any device that you want. That's all for this week. We hope you listen next week. But until then, have a good week. Cheers, Gareth. Cheers, Lavers.
Cheers, all.
Cheers, guys.